Was asked quite recently, what is the easiest way to propagate some of these plants like this? Well, I'm going to show you with one in particular. You can see that this is a tree that I had here. It was a Norfolk pine when my father passed away. I made a cutting of it, and it's not doing that well. That's fine with me, though. I'm going to try and save what I can, and it's an old tree. But what happened was the pickle plant decided that it was going to grow and overtake everything. A pickle plant is in the ice plant family. It does like the ice plant flowers, but you see it looks a lot like a pickle. And it just struck me. I found this in cherry tree, and this is actually a propagation, the original one. So I'm going to show you how you do it. First of all, you want to get some of these nice um, older growth shoots. They have these hairs on them. You already see where the pickles have fallen off because it's lost moisture and it's going to just die the whole way up. What the plant would do in this case, naturally, is it would do that and find a place where it would grow and fall off and root. So it's telling you this is a plant that naturally has a great ability to be propagated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, just like this, off of every plant, every one of these down to about, I'm going to go at least like you see here, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go at least 3. I'm going to take even this off. So, but I don't want to take a whole lot off. I want to leave enough on there that it's going to propagate, because it's a really like sticky wet plant. It's like a succulent. So what I'm doing is just taking these down where needed. It helps if you just give it a little twist. They tend to come off. The reason for this, you want to give the twist, is because you're going to leave some of the fibers where it's connected to the stem, and it's going to produce roots. So I'm going to do this with all these. And I'll show you how this is done. So I have a stem here. I'm going to run it under water. Give it a good cleaning. Give it a good cleaning. And I have some of this take root. This is not a necessary step, but I'm going to dip it into some take root. Brush it off a little bit. Get some of that on it. It's a rooting hormone. Now you can use honey. You can use aspirin. You can even use willow water, which we take the willow limbs off the weeping willow, get them to root, because the weeping willow gives off an aspirin type of chemical, and it's like an antibiotic for the plants. And when you put other plants in it, it will root as well. Next, I'm going to get 2 of these, or actually, how many I'm going to need, one for the top, one for the bottom, clear cups, like drinking cups, like the red Solo cups. And I'm going to drill holes in the top and the bottom, and they're going to sit like this. And I'm going to have a third cup that has no holes drilled in it that they sit in, like so. You see what this will do? It'll create like a humid, moist environment that the plant can root in. I put some perlite in here. I'd rather have a different thing like vermiculite instead of perlite, but this will also work as well. You just have to monitor this. If it doesn't dry out, it has more air to it and doesn't hold the moisture that vermiculite would. I'm using no soil, which is kind of like, why? Well, I'm going to monitor it. So when I see them start rooting real good, I can add a chemical fertilizer like Miracle-Gro into this, and you can see that it will feed them in a way the same way the hydroponic would. So I'm going to start off by trying to put a hole in this stuff, at least deep enough where I can take some of these. I was showing you and stick them in. I want them fairly deep because it's going to need all that to root and stand up inside the container. You want them nice and deep. The deeper the better. And like I said, I'm going to cover this. Now, this is a great project for your kids. Great project to teach people how things work. Only thing I'm going to warn you about is watch this stuff. I would not try to, keep it away from anywhere near your mouth or eyes, and wash your hands when you're done. I'll be using some of this Miracle Grow to add to it. And there's nothing magical about this process. Um, it's simply using that rooting hormone is like an antibiotic. It lessens the effects of any disease that the plant might acquire while it's in the process of in this healing stage. And it's going to heal because you're putting it into a shock. And it's going to grow roots. And it's going to look a lot like this. So, you're going to have the plant. I used packaging tape all in one sort of thing here. And see, the moisture drips out, but you can water it from beneath. It'll keep the humidity in it. It creates a greenhouse. Now, I would leave it in here. You will start to see what's nice about these clear cups. You can see the roots start to begin in 4 minutes, and it'll either work or it won't. That's all I can tell you. I'd leave it in a spot like this. You want it to get some sunlight so the plants will have photosynthesis, but you don't want to have too much light where it gets too hot for them and it cooks them in there. Uh, and I like using natural light because a lot of times people will use plants, especially like garden plants, and they will use them under a grow light, which is fine, it works. But what happens under natural sunlight is the plant on the leaves on the top builds up a natural resistance to the UV sunlight where it doesn't with the grow light. That's why a lot of times you buy plants and you take them home, you buy them at the greenhouse, and you get them home, and the first time you put them in the sunlight, they just wilt. That's why. But this is really a nice way to do it. It's cheap, it's inexpensive. I have probably $10 in a thing of two cups of clear and green soda cup, and I got a red soda cup, and I got, it works. So hopefully I can take this and start a smaller pickle plant, put it in here, and take what's here and put that outside this year as a hanging planter. And then if the frost hits it in the spring or in the fall of next year and I lose it, I'm not losing everything. And it's actually too big for this. So I can get very many pickle plants from one cutting.